Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm really excited because we're going to look at the best of the Winchester cartridges. So I am going to give my opinion on what I believe the top 10 Winchester cartridges are. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Winchester absolutely dominated the 20th century in providing the hunting market some of the best hunting cartridges you could get. In fact, almost every Winchester cartridge ever made has been an absolute hit. Let's go ahead now and get to my top 10 list. At number 10 is the 220 Swift. This cartridge is one of Winchester's oldest cartridges. It was introduced in 1935. It's probably one of the only Winchester cartridges without its actual Winchester name. Fun thing about the 220 Swift is it is the fastest factory offered 22 caliber cartridge. So what kind of velocities can you get with the 220 Swift? Well, you're looking at 4,500 feet per second in a 35 grain bullet. So it's about 100 feet per second faster than the very popular 22-250 Remington. The reason this is only at number 10, it's not that popular. 22-250 Remington has, just absolutely crushed it compared to the 220 Swift. But I do include it in here just as a reminder that Winchester has the fastest 22 caliber cartridge. At number 9 is the 264 Winchester Magnum. This cartridge was too ahead of its time. It was introduced in 1958 alongside with the 338 Winchester mag, which we will talk about later. And it was supposed to be the do-it-all cartridge for the lower 48, but it never took off. People claimed it was a barrel burner, and 6.5 millimeter just wasn't really the fad, obviously, in the 50s and 60s. And so this cartridge is almost kind of a forgotten cartridge. And I think if it was introduced in the 90s or the 2000s or in the last 10 years or so, it would be extremely popular. So it's based off the 375 H&H case, and then the case length is 2.5 inches, so it's about the same length as a 30-06. Let's just look at some of the velocities. The 140 grain going well over 3,000 feet per second. You could probably get 3,100. This thing is a beast of a cartridge. It's about 400 feet per second faster than a 6.5 Creedmoor. It just came out at the wrong time. At number 8 is the 300 WSM, or the 300 Winchester Short Magnum. This cartridge, as of late, has become very popular. In fact, a lot of you are probably mad that I would only put it at number 8. Well, there's just too many darn good cartridges ahead of it. Now, this one's a really good one. So the whole point of the 300 Winchester Short Mag, which was introduced in the early 2000s, is they wanted to produce 300 Win Mag type performance in a short action. And it does just about that. It's very good. So you're getting Win Mag velocities with a smaller rifle in a shorter barrel. So let's look at the performance. 168 grain, you can get up to 3,200 feet per second. A 180 grain, which is a very popular hunting round, 3,100 feet per second. The only thing kind of downside to the short magnums is once you get into the really heavy bullets, your velocity is going to start going down compared to the Win Mag. Coming in at number 7 is the OG for Winchester Magnums. This is the 458 Winchester Magnum. It was introduced in 1956. And what it is basically a shortened 375 H&H, and then shooting a 45 caliber bullet. And I would say this is Winchester's perfect African game cartridge. Let's just go ahead and look at the performance of the 458 Win Mag. It's with the 350 grain bullet, which is kind of light for the 458 Win Mag. It's going 2,500 feet per second. So that's some pretty darn good velocity. A 480 grain bullet going 2,200 feet per second. And finally, a 500 grain bullet, well, it's roughly about the same, 2,200 feet per second. It is a darn good African cartridge, dangerous game cartridge, so it definitely makes the top 10. At number 6, we have the classic 338 Winchester Magnum. Now remember, I talked about the 264 Win Mag coming out the same time as the 338 Win Mag. Now the 264 Win Mag was the lower 48 do-it-all cartridge. This was marketed as the Alaskan do-it-all cartridge. 2022, I think it still holds up to that name as the Alaskan do-it-all cartridge. It's also an extremely good elk cartridge. And so again, it's based off the 375 H&H case, just shortened and necked down to 338 caliber. Let's look at the performance of the 338 Win Mag. I think where its wheelhouse is the 225 grain bullet. You can hand load that. I think you can get over 2,800 feet per second. When you do that, you're getting 4,000 foot-pounds of energy out of the muzzle. And there's a reason, you know, it's still really popular to this day. We're now into the top 5, and I had to put this classic in the top 5. It's probably taken more American game than any other Winchester cartridge. Probably. I don't know. That's just a guess. The 3030 Winchester. You know, people still use it to this day. It's just a darn good 30 caliber cartridge. And it was introduced in 1895. Let's just go ahead and look at the performance of the 3030 Winchester, which isn't known for its crazy velocities, but, you know, the cartridge just gets it done. So a 150 grain bullet going 2,300 feet per second, get up to a 170 grain going 2,200. So it's a very moderate cartridge, but it is America's deer hunting cartridge. At number 4 is the 243 Winchester. Talk about a classic and a do-it-all cartridge for people in the East Coast of the United States. And you really could make an argument that if you're on the East Coast, you really only need one cartridge, and this is a darn good one to be your do-it-all cartridge. So what is this? This is basically a 308 Winchester, neck down to 6mm. So it's the 243, and it gives you really good velocities, basically Magnum type performance, and a short action. Let's just go ahead and look at this performance. You definitely can argue that this is a pretty darn versatile cartridge. You could use it as a varmint cartridge all the way up to really a mule deer cartridge. So you can load a 58 grain bullet and it's going 3,800 feet per second. And then some of the hunting bullets that you'd want to shoot for deer size game, a 95 grain or 100 grain bullet, and you're going to get over 3,000 feet per second, maybe even 3,100 feet per second. It really is an absolute great cartridge that has almost no recoil. And again, if I wasn't living in the West, I would probably make a very strong argument that this is really all you need. We're now into the top 3. In front of me are these top 3. And if you know your cartridges, well, you already know what these 3 are. And I could make, and you could make a very strong case that any of these could be the number 1 Winchester cartridge. So I'm going to do my best, and we'll start with number 3. At number 3, I have the 270 Winchester. Winchester absolutely hit a home run with the 270 Winchester in 1925. It came out with their brand new Model 54 bolt-action rifle, which is the predecessor to the Model 70. And the whole purpose of the 270 Winchester was to basically give you a flatter trajectory than the 30-06. You know, there weren't a whole lot of options back in 1925, and so this was your fast little demon cartridge that's going to be flatter than a 30-06. And this cartridge has just standed the test of time. and is considered an absolute classic. Let's go ahead and look at the performance of it. The most popular bullet to use in a 270 is the 130 grain, and it's giving you really good velocities at 3,100 feet per second. And then you obviously can shoot a 140 grain bullet at 3,000 feet per second. And with a 1 in 10 twist, about the biggest bullet you're going to be shooting is a 150 grain. And it's still going 2,900 feet per second. You really could make a very strong argument with the 270 that it is your do-it-all North American cartridge. With only two left, it comes down to the 308 Winchester and the 300 Winchester Magnum. And at number 2, I picked the 300 Winchester Magnum. You could make a very strong argument for 3 cartridges as your do-it-all North American cartridges. The 270 Winchester, the 308 Winchester, and the 30-06 Springfield. But for those that want a little bit more insurance as your do-it-all cartridge, here is the 300 Win Mag as your do-it-all cartridge with plenty of insurance behind it. This cartridge was introduced in 1963. It's again based off the 375 H&H. Now, the unique thing about the 300 Win Mag is that it is not the same case, basically, as a 338 Win Mag or a 264 Win Mag. This one has been lengthened. The other two are 2.5 inches. This is 2.620 inches. So you're just getting a little bit more powder. And boy, does this thing just give you the power that a lot of people are wanting. Let's just look at a 165 grain going 3,200, 180 grain going 3,100 feet per second, and where this excels a little bit better than the 300 WSM is with the bigger bullets. A 200 grain, you can definitely get it over 2,900 feet per second. There's a reason it is the #1 30 caliber Magnum in America. At number 1, I really had to put the 308 Winchester at number 1. I think Hornady says it best. Accurate, versatile, efficient, and popular is the easiest and best way to describe the 308 Winchester. It's completely true. This cartridge is inherently accurate. This cartridge is very efficient, and it's very versatile. So let's talk about how efficient it is. Well, when you hand load this guy, you can get a 150 grain. Now, Hornady kind of has it going on the slow end, but other books have it going quite a bit quicker. You can get at least 2,900 feet per second. When you compare that to a 30-06, there's only about 50 to 100 feet per second difference. I think the sweet spot for the 308 Winchester is the 168 grain. And again, you're going to get that over 2,700 feet per second. This cartridge really can do it all. It's also a very popular cartridge for F-class shooters, and I don't know, there's not a lot of negative for the 308 Winchester. It's easily one of the most popular hunting cartridges in America, and that's really the reason why I put it over the 300 Win Mag, is because more people shoot a 308 Winchester. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think of my rankings. Did I miss one of your favorite Winchester cartridges? Again, there's so many good ones. Thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great day.